Hey, I'm Oppel, I'm 13 years old, and I'm super excited to interview James Duncan, one of the stars of Warhorse. Let's go meet him. Hi, I'm Nate.
Hey Nate, I'm James. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So I have a couple of questions.
Absolutely, yeah.
My first one is, how did you know you wanted to be an actor?
I started off probably like you did as well too, getting to do school plays and things like that. And even from that point, I think it was the first time I really heard an audience laugh and respond. I thought, this is something I'd really like to do. So I was lucky enough, I was the Artful Dodger in Oliver. And that was like the first thing I got to do. And I remember the first time coming out and hearing that response from a crowd, I thought, I think I could keep doing this.
Did you have acting lessons?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was fortunate enough too that my high school had a really good drama program as well. They had a great stage and a great theater as well. And I had a teacher that took me under their wing and really helped me out a lot. And then I continued after that for my secondary education. I went to Ryerson Theatre School as well. So I was really fortunate that I was able to go from theatre school to theatre school and get a lot of different techniques.
So I just saw Warhorse. It was pretty magnificent.
Awesome, glad you enjoyed it, yeah.
What's it like being in Warhorse?
It's unbelievable. It's funny, through the rehearsal process and starting it, I didn't really ever, I think, take the time to realize the scale of what it was and what it meant to be a part of this show. I was fortunate enough to see it in London just before I found out that I got it as well, or just after I found out I got it. And I remember watching the scale of the show and being overwhelmed that I was going to be in something like that. That feeling kind of left because I was so in my head about what I was doing and how to do it and how to get it right. And now it's at the point again, I think we can really enjoy it as performers because there's such a connection to the audience with this show. It really, I think, emotionally hits people. For me, it's an absolute dream come true. And especially the role as well too, and getting to puppeteer and work so closely with everyone, being part of such a great ensemble. There isn't a single person in this cast that I don't think is fantastic and I won't keep as a friend.
What is your favorite thing about acting?
Probably my favorite thing about acting, it's kind of a two-parter. I'll two-prong that one. Going back to what we were talking about, saying connecting to an audience and knowing that you've given them something else and they have a different feeling than when they came in. They could be in a certain mood when they sat down in that chair and you leave them feeling differently. That's one thing I really love. And as a personal thing as well too, especially again with a character like this, I really enjoy the aspect of leaving myself behind. Anything that's been bothering me or has been upsetting me or anything like that, it's an opportunity to step out of yourself, to step into something else, a different person, or in this case, a different creature's views, and still understanding that we all have the same wants and needs in life, but how do we get those?
So is there any certain kind of routine you have for every role you do to like warm up and stuff?
Well, this one is especially different than other things. I usually do like to do a warm up, or you do a bit of a vocal warm up, but because of this show and its physical demands, we definitely warm up before and often after the shows as well too. Again, because we're making weird sounds of the horses as well and using really strange registers, we do warm up. But there's three of us that every single performance, it's something I've never done before. Usually I'll be in my dressing room or we'll go to a lower room. But we actually walk through the whole theater, down all the aisles, doing stretches with our hands and with our arms, and vocally doing stuff.
Do you have a mentor or an actor you really look up to?
Yeah, I do. One thing that I think that's a really good question. Through my training as well too, when I was at Ryerson, I was lucky enough that Richard McMillan came in and taught me a special monologue, a Caliban monologue as well, that I used to then audition for Stratford. With that, I got into Stratford, and he was there at the season as well too. And now I've got the good fortune of getting to work with him again 10 years later on a different level. So it's been great for me to have someone that I've looked up to that has helped mentor me, instruct me, and now 10 years later we're really getting to work together on the same level, and it's just been such a treat. It's fantastic.
You're Joey the horse, and there's a lot of, like, it's all about kind of body movement.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
What's the difference between, like, or the main differences between that and, like, using your voice to convey emotion?
With Warhorse especially, we're moving an inanimate object, and we're working together as a team to bring life into something through either the breath or, like you said, the movements, and it's the subtlety of movements that allows the audience to connect to that. We know that there's definitely different styles of acting for film, television, and for theater. For theater especially, I really do look at it as that my whole body has to be almost like a moving object and a moving puppet, so that way people can see images and relate to that as well too. What's been such a great challenge with this one is not having the ability to use voice at all and having to use the subtlety of movement, and being subtle but not so subtle that the other two people on your team can't know what you want and how to work together. Same thing for anyone else on my team. We're always very connected on what we do, so if someone does something, we can respond together.
Must be great communication.
It is. It's really great. Yeah, pretty different.
So I know in acting, there's like you don't always get what you want, and like how do you cope with that?
For every 10 auditions you do, if you get 1 or 2, that's great. There are so many different factors that are out of your hand, and I think that's something that's really important to realize, is that all you can do is be the best you can and give all you have, and be yourself in that room as much as possible. And then you leave it to fate, because you don't really know what they're thinking sometimes and what they're looking for.
What advice would you have for young actors?
I think one of the best things to do, especially when you're first starting out, is find out what you're really good at and strong at, and nail those things first. Perfect those things, and then start to look at things that are a challenge for you and make those stronger as well too. The more hands that you can put out and put into that hat, the better. So just keep yourself diverse. Find out what you like, what you can do, what you can hold on to, and what you can give to others. And then also find out other things as well too. And just make yourself a man of many hats, or woman of many hats.
It was great to meet you. Thank you
too.
So much for answering my questions.
Oh, you're kidding me?
It was great.
Thanks so much. I'm really glad that I could do that for you as well too. And I'm sure I'll see you again too in the stage.
Thank you.
Cheers.